not a YouTuber, just like making videos. In this video here, we're going to talk about old Trump. You know, I haven't done a video on him. I haven't really done a video on the whole political process this year. Because one thing, I'm not voting. I am not going to even extract the energy needed to go down to the polls and cast my ballot. This election cycle is nothing short of a circus. But we're going to talk about Trump. Trump is like the albino alligator, meaning he's somewhat of a distraction, or he's someone that's going to get all the attention. Imagine seeing an albino alligator, an all-white alligator creeping through the grass. Of course, everybody's eyes are going to be fixated on it, you know, and so forth. You know, and so while the albino alligator has your attention, all the other alligators are going to swarm around and have the drop on you. You know, because you're paying attention to that. You know, so forth. Now, this doesn't make now the albino alligator is still dangerous. One, because he's able to get your attention, and then while all these other alligators are bombarding you, taking chunks of your flesh, here comes the albino alligator wanting to get his piece. You know, and that's the thing. See, Trump may have the ability to sell you on an idea which other people will fail to do, but it's still the same idea. You know, Trump is the human hot air balloon. Mostly everything that comes out of his mouth is hyperbabble. A lot of people like him because he speaks so simplistically and so blunt. You know, he doesn't speak in all that political lingo or mumbo jumbo, mainly because he doesn't know how to. And I guess that's his appeal. But that doesn't make you a great candidate. Now, I feel that America is going to lose either way. Now, in a lot of ways, I want to see Trump get into office just to see him fail. You know, just to see him not deliver the things he promised he is, or to see him spiral this country into complete chaos. No, but I understand Trump is a celebrity. You know, it's sort of entertaining listening to this guy speak, because it doesn't seem like he even has a real grasp on reality. You know, we're talking about, and people say that, oh, he's going to be a good candidate because he's not a politician. You know, he's a businessman. You know, well, what's worse than a politician? A capitalist businessman. Sometimes. So I don't understand how you're going to feel his position will be better. You know, first of all, like a lot of politicians, Donald Trump grew up, you know what I'm saying? He had a rich parents, rich father, you know, had money, well-to-do, born with a silver spoon in his mouth and so forth, and, you know what I'm saying, kind of disconnected from the average Joe, and so forth. Now, a lot of black people don't like him, you know, and accuse him for being a racist or racially insensitive. You know, and there's some valid, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, that it's valid. You know, and then there's the black that support Trump, or the black people that think they're thinking out the box, and they want to wave the finger at black people that detest Donald Trump by saying, you say Trump is a racist. What did he say that's racist towards black people? You talk about Trump. but you said Trump is a racist. But what about Trump's policies? Do you know Trump's policy? Well, let me answer that. Now, as far as Trump being a racist, I don't think Trump is a stone cold racist. But I would say that America is divided, and it's obvious whose side Trump is on. Now, but when we go into Trump's history, I was reading some stuff. The guy who wrote Trump's book, The Art of the Deal, who now despises Trump, has said that here's what Trump said about black people. He stated that here's Trump, that he has black accountants working for him at the Taj Mahal and Trump Plaza are two of his establishments, and he stated that he doesn't like the idea of black guys counting his money. And then there's the whole business of him retweeting a tweet by a well-known white nationalist. Some guy who put together a inaccurate chart that showed the statistics of, murders, homicides between whites and black people. And on the chart it states that 94% of white people are killed by black people. This information is inaccurate, but it didn't stop Donald Trump from retweeting it. And this was Trump's official Twitter account. This was confirmed. I know there's a lot of fake Trump accounts. I don't know. This was real. So therefore, black people have a reason to be alarmed. But of course, the bootlickers or whatever, they want to think that they're so smart because they don't want to, quickly shoot out of the racist accusation arrow. But you know how it is with black. White people have a history of being racist, but sometimes it's hard to convince a black person that. It's very it's very easy to convince a black person that another black person is a thug or a hoodlum, or convince America that the typical black person is no more than a knuckle-dragging thug. But it's very hard to convince somebody that a white person is racist. They want they want rock solid evidence and proof. But now we're going to go into Trump's policies, because people say, oh, you say Trump is racist, but what about Trump's policies? Well, that's the thing. Nobody really knows what Trump's policies are. The Wall Street Journal has described Trump's economic plan as being a millimeter deep. That's not why Trump is ahead in the polls. It's because of Trump's race baiting. It's because of his fear mongering. His rhetoric, his outlandish statements, his hyperbabble. That's what put his celebrity status. Not because of his economic plan, because it's flimsy at best. Even when people ask Trump about it, Trump puts his people to talk for him and so forth, and they don't even seem like they have an idea. But it's funny, but I actually tried to do some research and find what his policies are, because everybody knows that, he wants to build up the border. He wants to have Muslims wear ID badges so America can feel safe. And these policies, I don't know what they're going to do is expand the government. Wait a minute, I thought Republicans wanted a smaller government. This is why I can't take you Republicans seriously. First of all, you're going to have to expand the government to fit Trump's big head. He is the human hot air balloon. And building up a border, monitoring Muslims, infringing on our rights for national security. What's that going to do? That means the government is going to even have more control. But here's, and then we're going into his economic plan. The people that are on the Trump train, they'll say, well, Trump is going to bring jobs back from overseas. No, he's not. He doesn't even have the power. Good that I come across about Trump's policies or what he wants to do is the fact that he wants to expand on VA, Veterans Affairs. You know, my father is a veteran, so, you know, he feels that it's somewhat broken and it, you know what I'm saying, it's in need of reform and improvement. That I would commend him on. But once again, that's going to be expanding the government. Ronald Reagan initiated Veteran Affairs, and you know what I'm saying, and ultimately it caused, you know, a raise in taxes and the government to get bigger. So the Republicans, they got to figure, do they want a bigger government or do they want a smaller government? You know, they got to make up their goddamn minds. And this is the reason why, you know, Mike Pence is going to be Trump's running mate, VP. You know, Mike Pence is also the governor of the state of Indiana, which I did a video on Mike Pence. You know, I'm like, you can't get no whiter than this dude. I'm like, if you're any more whiter than Mike Pence, you'd be translucent, you know, and so forth, because Indiana is a very white state. But of course, Trump, you know, put him on his team because he wants to win back the Republicans. Because Trump stepped on a lot of toes. He did whatever he can because it seems like he's very power hungry. It seems like he wants to be president just to stroke his own fucking ego. You know, a Trump presidency will be a complete disaster. It'll be worse than Bush. But Trump, you know what I'm saying, the way he has people eating out of his hands, you know, will just sit back and be like, oh, Trump wants to blow up half the world. Well, we're going to let him do it. Hey, that's Trump, you know, and so forth. Because he can sell you something. He can tell you something, and the gullible people will just eat it up, even though it makes absolutely no sense. And when we look at someone like Trump, someone that's been around, yes, man, someone that probably never had to bend his elbow to do any kind of manual labor in his whole damn life, which that's a lot of the presidents, I know. But just look at the way he looks. At least I can look at Mike Pence and say, hey, that's a clean-cut guy there. You know, he seems like he takes pride in his appearance. You know, but Trump, I'm like, he looks like he's choking himself when he wears a tie. He's out of shape. He's orange. He got the reverse raccoon eyes, like a white mask. His hair looks ridiculous, but you know, he's surrounded by X-Men that's not going to tell him the truth about himself. Now imagine if someone who looked like Trump was a plumber or an ice cream man or a teacher or someone that's not into power. People would say, I'm like, this guy looks weird looking. You know, but you know, I guess that's just, maybe that's part of Trump's appeal. Kind of looks like a cartoon character and so forth. But just a Trump presidency it's not going to be good, you know, and I doubt that Trump is going to deliver on really any of his promises. And there's going to be some vicious people that are going to do things, you know, that are going to be working for Trump, that are going to be doing things, and we're going to have our eyes all on Trump and so forth, because he has the ability to, manipulate people, manipulate a crowd and so forth. He can stir up feelings of some sort of emotions, and you know what I'm saying, he doesn't seem like somebody that's going to be held accountable for what he says or really cares about what he says. He's going to say whatever he has to get an ear. That's all I want to say. Thanks for watching. Never stop learning.